Welcome to another Line Star tutorial video. Tyler Weeman, Shannon Somerville here to help you guys with the Line Star app and go over the Props AI tool. That's one of the best tools that we have at Line Star, where it basically helps you find the best value in the prop market. Tyler and I have been very productive with that tool this year. In fact, we are up 12 units on our prop bets show for MLB this season, and I know each of us are doing very well respectively on our picks because we have the Props AI tool, and we've been getting some questions from our commenters about maybe how to utilize it. And, you know, we figured we'd just go through our process here. Props AI has been a pretty good tool for you though, right, Tyler?
Yeah, it's been great. And, you know, we've been getting some questions on what do the odds mean?
Yeah.
What's the consensus projection? What's the Line Star pick? And what does it all mean? So we kind of wanted to just go through that and let you guys know a little more of our process and what everything is.
Exactly. All right, so we're pulling up the Line Star app here, just firing up the good old Line Star and going to the Props AI tool. We're doing this for baseball now. So Tyler, why don't you just walk us through what your process is when you go in, when both of us kind of go in and get ready for our prop bets show where we have to pick out our props for the day.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. There's a couple different ways you can search to find props. The first thing I generally do is I'll look at all of the props, which is this button here. So all of them come for Underdog and Prize Picks. So if you
So
can
we're
see,
looking specifically at ones that are available for Underdog and Prize Picks. We do that for our show, but if you wanted to look at other sports books, you can as well.
Totally.
Those are at your disposal for Underdog Fantasy and Prize Picks specifically, though. That's where the odds kind of can play into your favor. So I'll let you take it away.
And that's why we're specifically looking at those, because it is a little different for those. You look at odds on those sports books a little differently than you would, you know, the normal sports book where you don't have to parlay. And there's not set payouts. Right. So because of that, you will sometimes see minus 185s come up.
Right.
And essentially that's just saying that there's a much better chance of it being over than under for this particular one. The sports book are saying that. So minus 145 is essentially saying 60% chance that will hit.
Right. And so basically it's the sportsbook's confidence in a particular prop. If you were betting this in a sportsbook, it's not great value, right? Because the public is on the side of that particular outcome. Yes. On Underdog Fantasy and Prize Picks, because as you said, it's a set payout, and you have to parlay two together, so you're earning the same amount of money regardless of what that says. So oftentimes what Tyler and I will do is look up which ones have the best odds in the sports books, because we know that those are more likely to happen. So a lot of times you just sort by that odds column.
I'll sort by that. I sort by the edge percentage here. You know, I really want kind of all factors to come together. It doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes our projections aren't really where I'm thinking, or the consensus aren't, or even maybe the odds. You know, I mean, sometimes sports books just get it wrong. Yeah. And it is, you know, absolutely possible here. But, you know, basic wise, if you are doing more, you know, high minus bets, you're more likely to be profitable in the end.
Right. So basically what we're saying is, for those that maybe aren't as familiar, like the bigger minus number, that's generally for our purposes on Underdog Fantasy and Prize Picks, that's where we're kind of looking at. Yeah. It's not the only factor into it, but one of them.
Minus 185 is like a 65% chance that bet's hitting. Minus 145, 60%. And so, you know, once you're under like 110, 115, it's, you know, either break even or worse.
All right. So you go by consensus, best odds. For me, I kind of just toggle the different columns to see what's out there.
Absolutely.
And then I kind of go from there. So I don't necessarily just take the top pick every time, but what I'll do is I'll start with sorting by the consensus or the best odds column, and then seeing, you know, what jumps out to me. And then I kind of like just peel back the layers a little bit
Absolutely.
of each of those props to see, you know, what's behind the numbers here. How about you?
And that's kind of exactly the same that I do.
Yeah.
The first thing I usually do is go to odds, just see what books are saying. And then I'll go to our edge percentage and look through that to find, you know, some gems. And not all of them are going to have odds. Like if you see right here, there's the fantasy points. There's no odds on that because you're not betting that in a normal sports book. So you need the more like general 1.5 bases types to have odds. And even then, sometimes they're not odds just because a sports book may not be offering it.
Right. And that edge percentage that you referred to is basically LineStar's projection, and it's comparing it to what, not necessarily just the lines, but what the outcome of that particular stat is.
Yeah. So it is the edge, what our projection is versus what the line is. If you see also there's the consensus projections right here, and you can see they have a difference also there. So you can look through a consensus projection difference. You can go through our LineStar edge and then odds and kind of use all three of them to figure out your bets. You know, and you can mark if you want the bet to be under or over. So then you can keep track of it too if you like some stuff and come back to that later.
Yeah, a lot of it is just kind of toggling between the different columns and just seeing kind of what jumps out. I also toggle between the last 5 and the last 10 just to see what players have been hot recently. So if you scroll on over there, it'd be like, this guy's gotten a hit in the last 10 games. That's interesting to me. And then I can just, you know, look at the different columns. That's kind of where we start things off. And you can also click on the players card as well if you click on the player's name.
Another thing you can do is go by the season. For MLB, you know, we're only a month into the season right now, so it's not really telling you much, but a little bit further into the season that will be telling you a little bit more. And as Shannon said, you can click on the player card to bring up the graphs, make them bigger, or click on the card itself and get more info. Clark Schmidt or Casey Schmidt was not the best. Let's pull up your boy.
Erman. Let's see what we got for him.
Yeah.
So this is basically just kind of a little player card. It has all the stats kind of in one location. I like this. I like LineStar for this purpose because it has all the splits, everything you can look up right there on one card. And you can look up, I like the alert score for LineStar because it tells you what things are kind of popping in terms of that projection.
Yeah, so the alert score is all off the emojis you see kind of right here in this little box, the alert box. The more, you know, green emojis, the higher that alert score is going to be.
So things like how they do against a certain handedness of hitter or weather or umpires, which is cool. I think that's pretty cool too, especially when you're talking about pitcher strikes and you can see if they have a favorable umpire, because that's important too. So if you're betting a K prop, you know, you can look at the combined K rate we have here. You can look at what the ump is and kind of get a better idea of what's going on. You can look at the ump for walks. Walks has been a big one for me lately. So walk it out. So just to kind of recap for you guys, basically we go on LineStar, fire up the good old Props AI tool. We're sorting by that consensus and best odds column there. We also then kind of see what we like. Just you're like out shopping, going to, you know, how you go to the grocery store. Just see what, you know, speaks to you. I don't know. Maybe you have a list. I don't know.
Yeah. And the more that you play with it, the more of a routine you will get. And I would absolutely recommend trying to create some sort of routine or process in doing your research to figure out your bets.
Yeah. And then you'll start to, you know, hone it in when you're doing well and can figure out a good method for it. So hopefully that helped you guys out. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments and we'll create another video for you guys. We guys want you guys to have the best experience possible on the LineStar apps, especially with that Props AI tool, because it is super helpful for betting purposes and on PrizePicks and Underdog Fantasy particular, because you can really look up those odds and find the best value that you'll possibly get on Underdog Fantasy. In fact, when we do the show, a lot of times, because those odds are so good, by the time we finish the show, Underdog Fantasy and PrizePicks has taken them off. So the advantage of having Props AI is that you guys are right there with us, and you don't have to wait for us to come out with our show every day. You can just hop on the Props AI tool, look at it yourself, and go win some money out there.
And I know there are a lot of people using odds to make their picks for, the underdog and prize picks. Props AI just takes out that research step to make you or give you the chance to get those minus 200s or whatever whenever they pop up.
Right.
A little quicker.
Yeah, exactly. So make sure you hop on that. Any other questions, again, drop them in the comments. If you could do us a huge favor, like this video if you're enjoying our content, subscribe to our channel. Sign up for notifications as well. Every day we do our props show where we give you our best bets of the day. We are up 12 units on the year in baseball, so hopefully you guys are winning some money with us. But you want to sign up for notifications because, as I just talked about, lines change. Things change. Underdog Fantasy Prize Picks, they take them off. So the best thing for you guys to do is be a part of the notification gang so that you guys can hop on our bets right when we come out with them. Even better, though, is to get the LineStar app and that Props AI tool so you can just do it yourself and check out that Props AI tool. Good luck in all of your sports betting endeavors. Again, any questions, drop them below. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.